Welcome back to the MMA scene. Today's video presents, over the weekend, Petr Yan returned to the cage hoping to bounce back after a disappointing 2022, in which he suffered close losses to Aljamain Sterling and Sean O'Malley. However, his efforts were in vain, as he was defeated by Merab Dvalishvili in a dominant 5-round fight during the main event of UFC Fight Night 221, where Dvalishvili demonstrated his impressive takedown attempts and striking skills. Yan, also known as No Mercy, suffered damage to his face and lost via unanimous decision. Yan took to Instagram on Monday to speak out about his third consecutive loss. While his previous losses were close split decisions, many believed that he was unfairly defeated by O'Malley last October. However, this recent loss was more definitive. In a recent social media post, Yan suggested that physical problems prevented him from performing at his best during the fight on March 11th, leaving him unable to move effectively. On Saturday, March 11th, my fight took place. While in Russia, it was March 12th, where I suffered defeat. It's frustrating and painful to realize what happened, but there's no going back, Yan wrote. Overall, I was satisfied with my preparation. There were a few factors that slowed me down, ones I thought I could handle. I flew back to the States, took a couple of days to recover from the flight, and started working out. I felt that I needed physical therapy. I trained daily for a week and believed everything would be fine. A week before the fight, I received a tough sparring session, which helped me breathe better, and I started to cut weight. I couldn't even consider canceling the fight because I was already on the field. I knew I couldn't move or hit, so I had to stay strong, Yan continued. I know I can and should do better. I need to reset and make some adjustments. What do you think, guys? Are we going to see Yan as a title contender soon? Alexander Volkanovski was dethroned from his top spot as the official UFC rankings #1 pound-for-pound fighter at UFC 285 earlier this month. Heading into UFC 284 in early February, the featherweight title holder Volkanovski tried his hand at becoming a two-weight champion, attempting to defeat the lightweight champion, Islam Makhachev. Both men were ranked in the promotion's #1 and 2 spots in the pound-for-pound rankings, which was a large promotional point of the clash. Despite Volkanovski entering the bout as #1, he left as the loser via a hard-fought unanimous decision and remained atop the list. That all changed 2 weeks ago. Jones's impending return to MMA as a heavyweight saw him defeat top-ranked contender and former interim titleist Ciryl Gane with ease at UFC 285. Bones captured a new UFC title after dominantly ruling light heavyweight since 2011, submitting Gane in slightly over 2 minutes with a guillotine. He actually said it really well where it goes by what you've done lately as well, Volkanovski said. It's gonna go with that you might have done a whole heap 4 years ago, but that's got nothing to do with now. You are not pound for pound. We don't know what you're doing right now. So that's always gonna come into play though. It was just that one fight in 3 years. You're right. But what he did, moving up, at least he moved up and showed that pound for pound comes into play. The body of work that we've done in the last 3 years, obviously, a lot of people are gonna be like, look what Alex has done in the last 3 years. You can get that, but at the same time, look at what Jon Jones has done as well. Can I really argue that? He's going to be one of the greatest of all time. Before going to the following news, if you like, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Dan Hooker, a UFC lightweight fighter, has accused champion Islam Makhachev of hiring a nurse to illegally administer an IV prior to their fight at UFC 284. Hooker branded Makhachev a cheating dog on Twitter, but so far he has failed to provide any evidence to support his claim. Makhachev's team has denied the allegation, and no official investigation has been launched. Despite this, Hooker has criticized the media for not investigating the matter and failing to request proof from him. He insists that he has the information to back up his claim, but has not provided any concrete evidence yet. I come out, I make these claims, made no apology for making those claims whatsoever. Has not one interviewer asked him about these claims? Asked him about what I have accused him of doing? Hooker said. From where I'm sitting, I have asked the questions and there has been no response. We have a whole lot of MMA media, but I don't feel like we have any real journalists. Why has me, as a fighter, made substantial claims about one of the most well-known figures in the sport, and nothing's been done about it? What do you guys think about these claims? Please write down in the comments. MMA fans globally have expressed a desire to witness a future matchup between Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou, but UFC President Dana White believes that the world has already witnessed such a spectacle. Despite the official parting of ways between Francis Ngannou and the UFC, White has remained dismissive of the possibility of a reunion between the two entities. Recently, in an interview with TMZ Sports on Friday, White reiterated his stance on the matter, indicating that Jones would probably dominate Francis Ngannou similarly to how he handled Ciryl Gane at UFC 285. "I'm not interested in that fight," White said. "I tried making that fight for 2 years. He didn't want the fight. Do you know what I mean? He didn't want the fight. He left here without even having another deal in place. And I know how the boxing world is. It's crazy. But Francis didn't want to do it. I tried to make that fight for 2 years, and let me tell you what. I think a lot of other people feel this way. I think that's exactly the way the fight would have gone if Francis was in there too. Him and Ciryl had a 5-round war. If Ciryl doesn't go for that submission, Ciryl probably wins that fight at the end of the 5th round there." Jones returned from a 3-year hiatus March 4th when he submitted Gane with a guillotine choke in 2 minutes to win the heavyweight title vacated by Ngannou. After the fight, Ngannou backhandedly complimented Jones, to which Jones called Ngannou a big old pussy. What do you think, guys? Are we going to see Francis versus Jones ever? Thanks for watching us. If you like, please don't forget to like and subscribe.